don't know, we do everyday plumbing, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all while training my 2 sons the plumbing trade. Gonna be a long journey, but well worth it, because we all know, especially in today's world, plumbing ain't going nowhere, because we are considered essential. Obviously, my kids are not here right now, as you see, the empty jump seat. But that's not why I'm calling. It's not why I'm making this vid. I wanted to reach out and just say happy Saturday, happy Easter Saturday to everybody. Crazy times, and just wanted to say that all you young people out there that want to be plumbers, you all read the newspapers, social media especially. No one's reading the newspaper, who am I kidding? The newspapers, no one reads the newspapers, of course, but on social media, on the news, how plumbers are totally essential. And that is why I picked the plumbing trade back in 1982. At that time, I was a sophomore in high school, going to Milton Hershey School up in Hershey, Pennsylvania. At the time was a trade school. And in my sophomore year, I was taking plumbing, and I was also taking architectural. So in my junior year in high school, back in '83, I had to make a decision that, am I going to go straight architect, or am I going to go for it in the plumbing? And at the time, I said to myself, I'm not going to school, because I felt like I was in a private school, a boarding school type of situation that school is. And when I got out of there, I knew I wasn't going back in no classroom. So I said, I'm going to do plumbing. I want to be out in the world doing my thing. And the main reason I picked plumbing, because we always need water and we always need bathrooms as a human. And that began my plumbing journey in 1984 of June. I graduated June 6, 1984, many, many moons ago. And went to work for a plumber down here in South Jersey called GM Rhodes. God rest his soul, George. Craziest little plumber I ever worked for. Started me out at $4 an hour on the books. And that was it. So then I was working plumbing, and you know, he was a service plumber, and I worked 1 or 2 years, and we had a falling out. Actually, me and his wife had a falling out over some nonsense, and I got fired. I got fired on June '86, maybe, just in time for summer. Oh, that's awesome. Let me take the whole summer off. So I do. Enjoy the summer off, and then, of course, time to go back to work, right? I go into new construction for Frank Papa out of South Jersey, San Fran. This is the name of their company. It was San Fran Plumbing. Not San Francisco, but the 2 partners were San Fran. I forget their real names. Well, one was Frank, and the other one might have been Santos. I can't remember. But I did new construction for quite a few years, track work, and in the meantime, I'm putting in my time. Back then, to be able to take your master plumber's license, all you needed to do was have 5 years on the books, 1 as a mechanic. So already I'm 2 or 3 years in and doing new construction. And we were traveling from South Jersey to Hightstown, New Jersey, which is up north, and putting in 12, 13-hour days, including the travel. And I just said, you know what? I had enough of this. And I quit, and I went to work for Rickle Plumbing out of Atlantic City, because I knew I wanted to do service work. And I knew in this area, Atlantic City had all the old construction. And I worked for Larry and Rube. Rube, God rest his soul, passed away. Larry, I still see once in a while. I learned all my service work in Atlantic City on all these homes here. All this ordinary construction with some down beach houses, of course, and boilers, drain cleaning. So we're moseying along in my plumbing career, and then I want my own business. I'm doing a ton of side work at the time, and I'm like, I want to be my own boss. So all while this is going on, I changed companies again. I work for Henry Dembinski out of Margate, New Jersey. Henry was the best company I ever worked for. I learned the most from him. He ran a nice operation, 3 or 4 trucks. Mrs. Dembinski was the boss lady. Henry was a character. If you guys who know Henry are local, great guy. And then I decided it was test time. I had my time, took my test, passed it on my first time back in 1993. And that's how I started my business. I'm 27 years in now, and I started my business out of a pickup truck, an S10 pickup. I've been doing service ever since. Now, in the meantime, at 20, I had my license at 27 or 26. At 32, I decided to become a fireman. I become a Atlantic City fireman after a long, drawn-out ordeal. 23 years later, here I am. And been doing boat jobs since then. I think it kind of held me back doing boat jobs, so, you know, I believe it definitely held me back having boat jobs, because at the time, through the years, I've had a couple guys work for me here and there with the old processes, pencil and paper and phone calls and babysitting and not really having a shop, just small time. So then now, fast forward to 2020, after some knuckling down and realizing that I got a real big asset here, I'm turning this thing around into something, knowing my kids, CB2 and Angelo, are hot to trot to become plumbers. And they're both part-time right now because of school. I want them to get a college ed to run a business better than I did, because I've made my mistakes. Oh, Lord. You can ask my first accountant, Terry Mooney. Long story short, I had my tax problems, I had my bad paperwork, just like any other business. A couple black eyes, but got knocked down a few times, we're still standing. But now today, I've rebranded. I've got some processes in place that enable me to operate without pen and paper, and a couple mentors that I'm not going to mention yet are just helping me get this thing going in the right direction, all while filming on YouTube, which I've been doing for the last 3 years, as we all know. And I want to thank you all for following me, encouraging me, ripping me. Speaking of ripping, I got a guy who's ripping me now. A new kid on the block. He's out of New York. His name is Mikey J. Hey, Mikey J, talk to me, dog. MJ of Plumbing is totally ripping my game. So I'm inviting Mikey J to come down and work for me, because I need an expert plumber. I need one now, and I want you. Come down and show me how it's done, and take care of the folks. Show me how it's done, work for my company, and set me straight. I'm always willing to learn. You guys all know I got no ego, and that we're ready to learn. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be the first one to tell you that in my business, continued education has been slim and none. As far as knowing my equipment, knowing the products such as Navions, boilers, and even code sometimes, you know, refresh my memories and different shortcuts, coming out of the old school mentality that all the old tools. And here's a great example from one of my YouTube videos many years ago. Not many, but I've been doing it 3 years. I never knew that they made a mowing cartridge tool, a cartridge removal tool, until you guys told me on the channel that they make this tool. So I went out and bought one. And you know, we take the good and the bad, and I'm not afraid to take no advice. My man John, he's always setting me straight. And you know, just I really feel that once I retire from the fire department, I'm going to really step up my game in the education department for my business. And I'm really excited about that, all while training my 2 sons the plumbing trade. The business side, a lockdown now, I have that ship going strong in the right direction. I'm most happy about that. So now I'm going to bone up my product knowledge and just put this whole thing full circle together. So that's what I'm very excited about 2020. And this whole pandemic thing is, I really came out of 2020 thinking this is going to be the year. We're going to crush it in 2020. My son Chuck's coming to full-time on May 15th. He graduates Stockton High School, or check that. He graduates Stockton College and coming full-time, and we're going to do it. We got a lot going on. We got a lot of opportunities, and I can't wait. And you're going to follow this journey, because I'm going to keep filming, God willing, every day. Everyday plumbing. Right now I'm going to answer some questions from the members that have been asked of me in the community room. I like using community room to put some pictures up or some ideas that you guys might have or talk about. So I'm going to start doing that a little bit more, and let's get right at it. I'll see you at the desk. Good morning everybody. So a couple questions from the community room. First of all, I put a picture up of Bill Rogers. Very good friend of mine. He's definitely going to be in some more films of mine coming up, but he is in the middle of a big project for himself and is unable to join the party. But it's coming. As we all know, he is a great character. So that's definitely coming. And a comment from Taco Daddy 87. He wanted to hit me up for pick my brain on some things. Listen, you guys know I'm always available as best I can. I've talked to many of you on the phone. Matter of fact, I had Bill Campbell call me up out of Atlanta, asked me about the flux shaft, and you know, I basically told him it was a straight paper, like. It's a role player for sure. The 2 small machines. Now I'm really interested in the bigger machine, the 309 from Rigid. So we'll see. I'm eyeballing that. So yeah, hit me up anytime for questions. You know, I answer. There's no doubt. Knowledge Seeker seeking a stack replacement into a basement concrete floor. The funny part is I just did a job like that, and we couldn't film because there's just too much going on. But I'll keep that in mind. I love doing stack jobs just because they're so interesting, and usually they're in tight quarters, and you know, it's easy to film. So I will definitely keep that in mind, Knowledge Seeker. And Kevin Larkin, he mentioned rough-ins. I do all service work, and I have a big problem coming up with teaching my kids rough-ins because I don't really do it no more. But it's got to happen for me, for them, moving forward. So I'm going to work it out somehow. That is the plan because I want these two young bucks to be able to, rough in. It's part of the game. So, and Chucky's definitely going to school in September for his apprenticeship. I'm looking to do some lives and some Q&As to answer, especially the young folk. Man, I love when the young kids call me up or reach out to me and like, hey man, I'm in high school, I'm doing plumbing. I'm thinking about doing plumbing, and I'm like, dude, great trade, you gotta do it. Look, we're in a pandemic, and I'm allowed to work, emergencies only, but we're essential, man. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't never going nowhere. With that, we'll see you at the next one. Everyday Plumbing.